Badass, man, yeah. They let a nigga do the intro, and they let the wrong nigga do the intro, because shit, I need to know, but I like the spit, but when the nigga start talking, the nigga just talk too much. So in this intro, I get to talk and just keep telling you motherfuckers that it's time to be heard, because you be listening to some straight bullshit. And no disrespect, because it take time to make the music, it take time to make the money. I guess that's why nobody make the money, because niggas ain't taking time to make no music. Of course, you do the Ethan Hunt.
In the door, waving the 4-4, nigga, all I heard was Ethan, don't spit it no more. I'm a god of months, boy, yeah, clash of the night is the party been started, but I wasn't invited, now I'm declaring war, cause my mind's spinning like this. They keep on telling me that bad boy moving silent, so why can't I hear them? Guess I got a sixth sense, cause I keep hearing dead niggas talking in this bitch. 16 bars, now it's 16 years, I'm rapping to these people, but they don't wanna hear. Swear they want the power, but they don't wanna steer. But stay up out the kitchen, cause it's hot up in here, cause I spit first and ask questions later. I'ma address the haters, cause their numbers aren't greater. Matter of fact, them is the one that keep me on your radar. Lying dark side, you can call me Darth Vader.
I mean, what's one of you niggas out there fucking with BAE? Never. You, come on now. Come on now. You know, that's what's BAE, man. Badass entertainment. I know the niggas ain't starting no party now. Let us in, niggas. Let's go. Kick in the door, right in the fofo. All I heard was stories, don't spit it no more. Fucking this track like a pimp on a hoe. I'ma give you to a roll. Better not let me go. Mile high representing Colorado snow. BAE high, the flow so cold. This is our years, known to fuck with our peers. Badass years, tight steers. Crazy motherfucker, get it in like a psycho. Known to get paid like I'm fucking with a white hoe. Punch to the face and we ashing on your flow. Let somebody say something badass at the back door. BAE here, now the party started. And the boys I run with, know to get retarded. Taking over, so the crown you better guard it. Might as well be down with taking it regardless.
They stopped being like, hey, Queen, come here. Then whenever I was on the island, people were like, so it's like, oh yeah, now I'm seeing
Kicked in the door, waving the 4-4. All I heard was LP, don't spit it no more. Well, somebody was lying to you, somebody was bullshitting. Let me find out who said it, guaranteed I go and get them. Better watch your fucking mouth, you know what this shit about. Think twice before you talk, BAE don't fuck around. LP, little picture stories and Ethan Hunt. Phone show, give us what the fuck we want.
Like,
if you don't cooperate, why we trying to operate? Phone in your ass, major pain is what you take. Listen up and pay attention, big Clary on the mission. Can't stand the fucking even get the hell up out the kitchen. You know what I'm here for, I heard that you had that. Bitch, stop playing with me, where my fucking droid at? Somebody was lying to you, somebody was bullshitting. Let me find out who said it, guaranteed I go and get them.
other versions of women who out here. All of it, period. Because honestly, they can't compete.
You know, it's funny that you say that because in general, I don't think people know a lot of the stuff that we talk about. Like hello, everybody. Once again, welcome back. It's your boy, Chris Diggins with Black Conscious Convo. My guest today is my guest from last week. Return, because we didn't get to go to all the stuff that we was going to hit.
So we doubling back on y'all. You know,
Period. Doubling back on y'all. First off, I want y'all to understand mortgage life. Building wealth in our community. How these things can occur And what are the steps we as Black people need to take to make this more of an you know how they have like challenges?
Mm-hmm.
We need to make that a challenge. How many people is buying? How many Black people is buying a new home this year?
Right. No, I'll be able to tell you at the end of the year. They release reports to that every year.
Gotcha.
So they send us, exactly how many Black applicants there were. Now, here's the thing, right? I don't be filling out the little "what's your race" part for my customers, because most of them I meet online or over the phone, and I'm not gonna just make a snap judgment from your voice that, oh, you must be Black, oh, you must be this. I'm not gonna do that because that's ignorant. So I'm just gonna put on there, I don't know. Is what I do. I don't know, or they didn't tell me. So that's what I put on there. I honestly don't think that those types of questions should even be asked on those types of applications. I think whenever you are asking for race, you are really just asking,
It's
how can I
statistical.
treat you? When you ask somebody's race, you're asking, how can I treat you based off of what society says is acceptable
It's
for your
statistical,
race.
yeah.
So
A lot of people don't know that America is a big ass science experiment.
social experiment, to be exact.
Science, social, whichever you want to call it. In all honesty, America is a big experiment that has continued to keep on going.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of us don't realize that America was not supposed to happen.
No, it was
If
never planned to.
for real, if the kings and queens of Europe wouldn't have been so shitty, along with the upper class of people in Europe, there wouldn't have been in America. Like if they would have learned to deal with their hubbled masses and everything.
Not been overtaxing the way we're being overtaxed today, but
Well, that's because once
that's,
again, us as Americans haven't learned, like Europeans, to go and chop off the head of the king or the queen.
I mean, we've made that taboo here now. Before, back in the day, I've heard of several politicians, people were marching up to white people, white folk, marching up to their doors with guns, threatening them, telling them to get out of town. I was just learning about a whole city that was really mixed, that was living that desegregation. They had Black Senate members, they had white Senate members, and when it came time for local elections, white people got together, white men got together, all pissed off at, the fact that there were Black representatives, and they ran off all of the political enemies. They showed up at their houses with guns and told them, you better leave town by the end of the day. We don't care that you won. You better leave town or we'll be back. So, of course, everybody packed and left, because back in those days, when the Klan said they was coming back, you better not be there when they got back.
I mean, it wasn't like we had access to
the
guns.
Yeah, no, we didn't have access to guns. We didn't have any real support. It wasn't like the army was gonna roll up in to defend us. We didn't have nobody we can call on. So our only option was just get out of town.
That's it.
That is what's happening, and that's what's been happening for a long time. But now it's become taboo to be so violent. So you don't hear about that. But I really think that, a couple of us need to march our asses right on up to motherfucking Mitch McConnell's door. Take the Republican Senate majority member.
And just ask him, once again, in black form, a lot of people need to be communicated in Black form, in Black thought. Does that make sense? Because in general, we communicating to white people and conducting ourselves in their mannerisms and lifestyle situations, they don't get it, and it's allowed them to ignore even their own.
Mm-hmm.
So when we bring out the nigga, that's scary. It also makes them listen, because they go, oh my God, did you hear what they said?
They start to be on high alert when we start organizing. Here it is. I'm looking for the lighter.
Look at you. Look, you have the jar of what we are smoking today. Let's
Yes, I
let the
do.
guests know what we're smoking today.
So this is from Veritas.
Veritas, yeah.
Okay, I said that right, y'all. It's got a really nice bottle. Let me tell you, if you are not living somewhere where there's dispensaries, you know you're dealing with a high quality bud when the bottle is very, very, very nice. The labeling is nice. The lid is really safe. And so what we're smoking here is cherry diesel. It's doesn't have any of the other stuff on here, but that's fine. All you need to know is that it's cherry diesel. It's a sativa. It smells really great. It's really pretty too, and that this is a luxury strand of marijuana, fine cannabis. It says clearly on the bottle.
Veritas is the company that grows cookies here in Colorado. I go to Golden Meds.
Mm-hmm. I've heard good things about them.
They have their superstore on Santa Fe has every great grower's strain of marijuana. No, for real. Like, the company that's beating this is sativa just for you.
Yay! Cause y'all, it could be making me sleepy. I don't want me. I'm already high strung, so I like things that make me high.
Gotcha. Yeah. Their main store has all the strains from all the companies out there that are growing. So it's kind of hard to have all the strains at one specific location.
Which one?
Santa Fe. It's a superstore.
Oh, I don't think
it's
I've
like
been in
Santa Fe, right before you get to Alameda.
Okay, yep. No.
On the right hand side, right before.
I know I went to a huge one, but that one was off of like Sheridan and like 48th. And it wasn't a Golden Med. It was something else. But it was a big ass dispensary. It's huge.
You said Sheridan and
yeah, like Sheridan and 38th or 40th or something like that. It's in Wheat Ridge over there by the old roller coaster. What is that? Lakeside.
Oh, you went on the other side of the highway, right?
I used to live over there in Arvada, so I used to go.
You mean on the other side of the highway?
I believe so, right over there.
Oh yeah.
By the King. Well,
Yeah,
I think
no,
there's a King Supers over there, but I don't know. You know, I don't know.
There's honestly only one store I tell people it's not worth it.
Green Solutions.
Well, them and Medicine Man. Only because
I've never been to Medicine Man either.
Yeah, only because Medicine Man thinks, I don't know, just because they were the first, like Medicine Man was the first to get their med license and get out there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I remember them.
Yeah, they had the Green Mile. That's what everybody knew about them first. So, I mean, in the beginning, they probably were top of the line. But now, people just don't grasp connoisseur. Like, people think if you're paying, it's, they don't grasp it in the forms of like liquor. Liquor is high class, low class. Yeah. If you're going to get some Skull vodka, that's considered, I'll just pass that to you. That's considered bottom shelf.
I did not know this. You know what? I knew about, top shelf, bottom shelf, but because of my limited access due to my funds, I have no idea what top shelf vodka even. What is the top shelf vodka? Ciroc? I don't know. Ciroc for me.
No. Understand, there is the average Hennessy, right? That is what the average consumer can buy. It's out there just for basic consumption. But then you have their super aged, super cured stuff, and it costs in the hundreds. there are some.
I've
things,
had some of that now.
There are some things that cost in the thousands of liquor.
I've had some of that, not with like vodka and stuff, but whiskey. Whiskey, when you're look, I work in the mortgage industry, I work in real estate. And one of the things that people do not know about the industry is that liquor and drugs run rampant in the mortgage industry and real estate in general. So one of the things that, when it's time to talk business or you want to make a connection, if you really want to impress an agent, you take them to your house and you pork out a really expensive ass bottle of whiskey and some really fancy ass whiskey stones, and you pour them a nice glass. And if you got a really expensive cigar or two, break that out too. It's very much so expense, high class in this industry. So
Jay-Z likes cigars. I just noticed there are expensive The Rock likes expensive cigars.
Mm-hmm. And you don't smoke cigars. People think you smoke them, but you don't. You just hold it in your mouth.
Yeah, you let the smoke, you let it go around your mouth, and then you blow it out.
It's kind of like wine tasting. They say you're not supposed to drink the wine. You're supposed to just swish it around your mouth and spit it out. Like, I don't know what it is with luxury stuff you can't eat or smoke or drink. But, hey.
It's hilarious that you say that. Why do you think we don't know so much when it comes to?
Oh, that's on purpose. They don't show us. Like, we're not in these rooms, and a lot of times we can't get in because our clothing don't even fit the bill. We don't have the suit that you need to have to get, or we're not walking in there in the shoes. And the thing that is very different that I know from being around people who are very affluent, meaning they have a lot of money. While they may be wearing $1,000 shirt, you will not know because it will not have the brand anywhere. Whereas a lot of rappers and actors, they're walking around with brand full display.
Period.
Gucci this, Louis this. But the rich, they're very subtle. The more subtle you are, the more rich you probably are.
The more, a lot of people don't grasp that. Artists do that because that's them marketing.
Yes, they're marketing themselves because now Gucci's going to send them new stuff whenever, Louis going to make sure they are the first one to have whatever little product because they're going to walk around and be a living billboard for them. Correct. That don't mean that your dumbass run out there and buy them clothes because you can't afford it and they ain't paying you for it. Don't do it. Don't do it.
And that's one of the things. It's right now. This weed has me thinking on like super speed level.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
It will do that.
So I don't want to overthink a situation and then overstand it talking. Because then people won't grab it.
Right. And I don't mean like you can't want to have it. It's great to aspire to have name brand products. But while you don't have it, if you don't have 40K in your savings, baby, you cannot afford a Louis purse, a Gucci this. You can't. We got to have savings first.
That's the thing. Like when it comes to being a connoisseur of marijuana, I consider myself a connoisseur because I will spend about $300 to $500 a week.
Oh my God, baby, you aspirational for me right now. See, that's aspirational for me. It's out there. I'm gonna be spending that much a week too.
I spend it.
I do spend about a good $200, $300 though. You're probably right.
On quality marijuana.
And it's worth it.
I don't not that I don't want to run out. At the same time, if I go looking for something and they don't have it, that's a problem for me.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I got that. Because I definitely I love strawberry cough. It's one of my favorites. And I can almost never find it.
That's an old strain.
Never find it, yeah. You can almost never find it. But it is it's got such a it got such a pretty pink tint to it, and it smells so good. It smells like, you know, Fruit Loops or something. So I really love that. It matches my personality. Honestly, it does. But it is so hard to find. Like,
I remember that. Like, the um the first time I smoked Kind Loves weed, cookies and cream, and a flavor called skunk berry.
oh yeah, I've heard of that one.
Those two tasted so magnificent after they were lit and being blown out. Like, you see that taste?
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the things I commend any grower. If you grow something to where the taste is still in there when it's lit on fire, you've done a great job.
Yeah, and the smoke taste of it.
Because think about it, like when we smell fire,
Right.
majority of the
Or
time,
when you smell, forget fire. Think of a damn cigarette. When you smell a cigarette,
that and it's
a cigarette tastes how it smells.
That's
Your
the
mouth
truth.
go numb and
You
stuff.
know what's crazy?
You know you smoking chemicals because your mouth going numb.
Look, you know what's crazy? Listen. Oh my God. I am 5 years cigarette free.
Congratulations.
Oh my God.
That's no easy feat.
Like, this was the time that I quit smoking cigarettes 5 years ago.
How you feel?
I feel great.
Yeah.
Like,
What made you quit?
marijuana.
Oh, good. Yeah. A lot
You
of
know-
people would smoke marijuana if it was legal, but they smoke cigarettes because they can get in trouble at their job or, you know, in the community if you're not in Colorado or one of these states where it's legal, because even in Florida it's still like medically legal, but they will still bust you. Like, you do not want to get involved with Florida police, so stay away. But
5
yeah.
years ago, I was a manager of Golden Med's Peoria location.
That's interesting. You worked in a dispensary too?
Mm-hmm. I've sold crack. I've gangbanged. I was in the band. I was in the band.
That one time at band camp.
Look, I was in the band. I was in the choir. Yes.
Oh yeah.
I was in the church choir.
True. So I never got into school choirs, but you know what?
I was in the school choir. That didn't happen till TJ. I got kicked out of Montbello and had to graduate from TJ.
Okay. I don't even know where that school's at.
Look, somehow, some way, me and my cousins got kicked out of Montbello, a majority black school with the majority of gang members, right? They kicked niggas out, and I had to graduate from TJ. Graduated most improved student.
Oh, hey. Shit.
I was listed as a freshman when I got over there my junior year.
Oh, because of the credit transfers and
No,
shit?
it was still DPS.
Oh.
I was just that's how lazy I was.
Oh, okay.
Only class I went to was band, gym, and wrestling.
All the electives.
That was it. I tried football, but then started selling crack.
Well, I went to
Tried
school
football
now,
over
so-
at TJ too.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
You're okay.
Tried football over at TJ too, but niggas was gang banging when niggas got out of school selling dope, fighting, and I had a cracked skull and I passed out.
Oh man.
At fucking practice.
Oh, dang.
Yeah. I had a cracked skull.
It's crazy to me how much, it's not crazy, it's amazing to me how much physical pain men will put themselves into or endure. Or watching men box is like, I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe that you guys are enjoying this.
For us, this is something like it's competition. Do you understand? It's not that it's I'm better than you. It's how fucking good am I?
Mm.
That's all it is.
I know that they like, and I know some
People
guys who
love
just
to-
like to fight. They enjoy it. They enjoy the adrenaline rush of it, and they enjoy being able to show their physical like prowess. And it's amazing. It's beautiful. And then it's like, oh my god, I can't believe they're doing that.
That's the way I see women. Like when I see women fight, like because for seeing females fight is way worse than seeing guys fight.
It's true.
I
We
know
get made
guys-
more dirty.
I know guys are not emotionally entangled into the fight. It's just the physical.
And guys have more like respect during their
Right,
fights.
it's a physical. If you're emotional in a fight, as a guy, you'll lose. Period, point blank. If you're going into this fight emotional, when a guy is pushed, like you seen the video where the one gay guy is in front of his building, and he goes, "What you say?" And he just socks old boy, and he goes down. The
No.
feminine acting dude.
I didn't see
what's
that
his name?
video.
I can't remember. But the feminine acting gay dude knocks the straight dude out, like, and he goes, "No!" And his girl, I don't know if it's his sister or his friend. He's standing over here. He's standing over him, going, "Now, what you got to say now, huh? You call me a faggot?" Yeah, it's like it's when you know what I mean. When you've pushed me to that point, nigga, ain't no. You're wanting this, so I'm going to give it to you.
Like ain't no other outcome. Like sometimes it's like
Yeah,
there is no other outcome when you get to a certain disrespect mark with men. And this is something that I would say I've learned because I've like seen it in my life. Like I've seen a lot of men get to that point where it's like there's no return. Like it's just red. Like
And
and if you're not really ready to fight, you better run.
and
It's happening.
because it's a if we've gotten to the point of fight and we've talked and we've talked and we've talked and we've talked the same way women get tired of repeating themselves and telling a guy, "Look, I don't like this shit, so you need to stop this shit. This shit get on my goddamn nerves," and then you keep doing shit.
Yeah, I do that once,
Guys,
maybe twice.
when guys are trying to talk some shit out, they're trying to understand the other person before they knock the other person out.
Right.
Not even that they knock the other person out. It's, I know within myself, I am getting ready to punch the shit out of someone. And it's not because he's weak. It's because of the simple fact the other person is not grasping in general. And they keep going, especially when it's a guy. Now, when it's a girl, you have to start to question. Where is this mentality coming from? When a guy is mad at a girl, you go, something ain't right there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just in general, like, you're mad at one of the most beautifulest creatures in the world. Can you think about that?
Yeah, unfortunately, in this society, we've been taught that women are beneath men, and so as we're trying to at least bring it up to even, like right now, and that's being a struggle. And
That's
I just
why
want us
you're
to
here,
realize
though.
that we can do both things at the same time. Like both two truths can exist. A lot we live in like a one or the other, or but two truths can exist.
But that's why you're here, though. You're a sitting example of how I don't see you lesser than, and I don't see you greater than. I do see you. Look, as the Avatar Nim say to all of the people that they meet, to their people, I see you.
Ooh,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
Okay. And I say that, and I mean that with all my people. I don't care if you're poor. I don't care if you have money. I don't care about your degrees or the degrees you do not have. Everything about you is valid. That's what you as people need to understand. I'm doing this out of caring for my people.
Same. Same. That's why I'm in this industry, this mortgage industry, doing my best to make sure that I can help everyone who wants a mortgage, help everyone who wants a home get one, because that's my way of helping the community by helping people get stable housing, because that's going to be the beginning to healing for a lot of people. If they could just be able to stay still long enough to actually deal with themselves without worrying about being evicted or having to move or having to look for a new job or having to deal with that stuff, you don't even have the time to really look and address yourself. So giving people stable housing is the beginning to the healing for a lot of families. So I'm out here trying to
Generational
provide that.
wealth. Generational wealth is something that a lot of us have been hearing, but we don't honestly grasp the concept of it. I know there are individuals that would like to get a grasp of what generational wealth means and how they can create it for themselves.
Yeah. And I think for a lot of us, I think I'm so proud because we are really taking advantage of education. Now we are the ones with the number one amount of school debt, like all of us are. And so, there's that. But now there's great programs that are coming out that are actually allowing us to still lend to people who have a lot of student loan debt. So with that, I think that since we're all out here working, getting educated, a lot of us are starting businesses. I think we are well on our way to having the things we need to get a home. So I'm saying right now, if you are not working towards buying a home as of today, you need to stop whatever you're doing and work on getting ready to purchase a home. I don't know how or what. If you need support in that, I can help you. But that is what you need to be working on. You need to be trying to buy a home within the next 2 years, because I think if you wait outside of that, it's going to be pretty impossible unless something changes. So now is the time to act.
That's one of the things that I am in the process of doing with you. Um, this is this is uh, an experience within itself because I'm buying as a independent contractor.
Mm-hmm.
I have proof of income. Everyone knows where my income comes from. So the banks and the IRS have to provide information to back up my information.
That's true.
So I'm in a whole new buying process of how this even works. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's this buying the house and honestly having two life insurance policies are my thing.
Same.
That's me.
I have two currently, and I'm working on buying a house. So we're in the same spot. I've got some stuff happening. So look, we're all in this together, and I'm gonna be here to help you through it the same way I'm gonna be here to help anyone else do it, because I'm doing it myself, because I know how important it is to act now. I'm not kidding when I say after 2 years, maybe three, if something doesn't change here, it's gonna be pretty dang hard to buy in the future. So act now.
Especially like with the prices rising.
Yes.
Is that the reason? Like the because of the people? Is it because of the value the individuals moving here are bringing, or is it because of?
Yeah, it's because our capitalistic system works off of demand. So the higher the demand, the higher the price you can charge for it. So in limited markets like ours, whenever anything comes on the market, everyone is trying to buy it, because people who are local are trying to buy, and people who are moving here are trying to buy. And corporations are also buying up homes. So now you're not only just competing with people in your same city, you're competing with people who live in other states, and you're competing against corporations. Corporations are actively buying up homes. They're looking for a forever rent model, is what these major Fortune 500 companies are working towards. They're buying up single family homes, they're buying up these multi family apartment complexes, and they're setting up for a state where American citizens always have to rent unless you are like extremely wealthy. That'll be the only way you'll be able to afford to buy, because you are competing with these corporations that are buying homes in cash, and they're paying 2 times 200, 300,000, over asking price. And who can compete with that in cash? Nobody really, unless you're already wealthy. So really get
Tell
serious
me that's
about
not
buying
illegal,
now.
though. Like that's
As of now, it is. As of now, it is. So unless something changes where politicians start coming out and speaking out against these corporations, which is not going to happen because both the Democrats and the Republicans are bought out by corporations. Most of them own real estate.
lobbyists.
Most of them own
this
real
is-
estate and are invested in the real estate market.
And I would
So-
love to say I can't stand lobbyists, but it's not lobbyists. It's in general politicians that don't want to stand off the fact of one, you are supposed to be taking care of the people, not yourself. Now, I don't know how that is such a hard thing for them to grasp, because in healthcare, we seem to do that pretty good.
It's money. Call it out. It's greed and it's money. Before, politicians were paid exclusively by the citizens. Citizens' taxes pay politicians. Nowadays, politicians is getting money and donations from all kinds of places, from oil companies, from banks, from big time realtors, from stockbrokers, from Wall Street, from all these different investment firms who are donating money to these politicians' campaigns, for which these politicians are then turning around and buying properties and buying lands and flying in private jets and shit all around the world, because now they don't work for us. We no longer are their number one source of income. Their number one source of income are donors. And so they do what the donors want. They do what's going to make the donors more money, because they know more money for them is more money for them. And we're the ones who get screwed. So
Do you think that's why you see so many more hedge fund companies? Because like when it comes to mortgages and like I said, the one knowledge I have about buying land, excuse me, I apologize.
okay.
Empty stomach, and the weed is saying put something in there.
Yeah.
We gonna do that. However, the only thing I really know is God ain't making no more land. Like unless a volcano starts to come up, this is how we know
Unless the
land.
ocean starts to dry up, we ain't got no more land.
Right? Like that's honestly
and
the
it's
basis.
actually getting fuller. So and we're losing land all the time.
So I totally grasp if that is said reason. Like if we can't figure out something global warming wise, it's going to get rougher before it gets better.
I think it is, and we just need to get ready to like pivot. Like we need to figure out what's the pivot, because like we can't live on the coast anymore. Like we know like that's about to be flooded. So does that mean we lift all the buildings up and put them on stilts? Like we live like Venice does? Like is that what that means?
I mean, but even Venice is singing.
Yeah, they're singing, but they're figuring it out. Like they got their little levee system, and it's keeping the city afloat. But it's been there for so long. Like we're just starting. So if we get that many more years to figure out what to do, okay. But let's raise up the building. Let's figure it out. But let's not like keep ignoring it. And then when you have a 12-story condo that collapses in Florida and kills over 200 some people because 28 are dead and 159 are still missing. So let's just call it. Those people are dead, and they've decided to demolish the other building.
A lot of them people wasn't there.
They missing, so More than likely, they was there,
I'm just,
and it's just
I can't
it's
watch
so
the news about that.
unfortunate. It's so unfortunate.
Yeah, because we do know that that is not paying attention to services in general. The city and county of Denver has made some of those mistakes and is paying for those mistakes with the builders. We had a huge fire, that could have been prevented. Yeah, somebody said it, but at the same time, though, these laws when it comes to real estate and these people that are building, they're somehow, some way, people are able to get loans without even having money.
Well, this building was built back in 1980, so it's not even that old.
Right.
It's not that old at all. But this was definitely back in the Wild Wild West times of mortgage. This is back when you could just walk in there and be like, "I make $100,000 a year," and people would be like, "Oh, great! Here's $1 million to go find a home. Congratulations!" Everybody was making money. Everybody was happy until the payments came due, and people wasn't really making $100,000 a year, and they had went out and bought 3 damn homes. Like,
but you got that going on during COVID. Like,
I mean, now not so much.
Out,
now not so
we
much.
found out. No, honestly, like COVID showed us who's broke and who's not broke. Like, we know Jay-Z and Beyonce and every one of their affiliates are taken care of under Rock Nation and all of that.
Yeah, because Megan's doing good. I'm like,
huh?
I'm like, yeah, because Megan doing good.
I'm just saying, in general, everyone up under that umbrella did not disappear during COVID. My little ghetto door closer.
Shoot, they didn't have to because they're already the buzz. But shoot, I think nowadays, now, if you say you make $100,000, I at least gotta verify that. Like, show me the paperwork. Which is why I keep telling people, like, a bubble, like, it's not gonna happen. It's not gonna be the way you think, because most of the people who are buying homes today, we've actually made sure they can afford them. So they can afford their monthly payments. And so as long as they know that come hell or high water, they need to have that $2,500.
So this is just, whatever happens next is just going to be because of individuals not being able to make mortgage.
Pretty much. Because the housing prices are going to go up. And so if you're not, you're still making
mortgage, excuse me, taxes.
Oh, what do you mean taxes?
The taxes on land. Like every year, yearly taxes.
Oh, well, you're still going to have to pay that.
No, I'm saying that's going to be the reason why a majority of people are not able to make it.
Yeah, if the taxes continue to consistently rise and it goes outside of their little pay thing, then yes. But there's a lot of people nowadays, especially like in places like Florida, there's affordable tax programs where you can get in there and they'll keep your tax rate at a certain fixed price. Gotcha. So you just got to know what's available to you in your county, and you just have to ask these questions from a mortgage professional. Some of those programs do have age requirements, and some of them have income requirements. So depending, you just have to make sure you're meeting all those requirements. But yeah, you can put your property taxes to be at a fixed rate.
Look at that. Yeah, because I know a majority of what's going on in Denver right now is due to
property taxes.
Yeah, a majority of us in the hood paid our property taxes with our SSI checks. Or pensions when they were still living with the pension. But now it was just SSI, and it was easy to do. It was easy to do $1,500, $1,200 on taxes. Now that's done double. And people were sitting there going, wait a minute. That's like 4 months worth of life that I have to give up instead of a month and a half.
Yeah, I can believe that. My dad he owns a home, so he always complained every year, my property taxes is going up. I'm like, yeah, but that just means the value of the home is gonna go up. Like, that's all that means. I was like, so, and the value of our home has gone up since we bought it foreclosure like, some years ago. So we're doing pretty well.
What is the best mortgage that you think we should get ourselves into? Honestly, like, are foreclosures the way to go and just slowly rebuild and rehab the home, or
So, like, foreclosures are unique, right? Because you can't get a mortgage on a foreclosure home, right? You can't because we're giving you the money
to
based off
give
of the
to the
value
bank?
of the home.
Yeah,
Like, so we're assuming that if anything were to happen and you sold the home, we're getting our money back because we know the home is of that value. So, something that's foreclosed, you can't assess the value. You can't see in it. You can't, appraise it. You can't do any of that. You have to buy it sight unseen. So, they're not going to give you a mortgage loan to buy a foreclosed home that they cannot fully assess the value. When it comes to buying foreclosed homes, you want to use hard money lenders or private investors. That's how you purchase foreclosure properties. Hard money loans usually take about 3 months, and they'll normally buy the home for you and give you enough money to pay for repairs and things like that. If they can show, if you can show them that they're going to coop their money back plus some, and that they're going to be the first person paid when the home sells, then yeah, you can, get a hard money lender to purchase a foreclosed home. But you cannot go to a mortgage company and ask them to give you a loan on a foreclosed property. I
I
mean,
can.
unless the property was like $1 million some, or off, you could just see it was $1 million off bat. You didn't have to go in and really, it has to be a really lucrative property for them to be like, oh, okay, yeah. But they're
Or
not
even at
gonna,
that, they have to envision what you envision to go. $1
then
million.
you have to see the value from the street. It has to be that type of foreclosed property, but it cannot like where the address alone is worth $1 million. Because there's people you don't know this that some people, some celebrities, they'll sell their address because their address alone is worth millions. So if you have a home that's just in this particular zip code, yeah, they'll give you a loan for that. They know they're gonna make some money, but up the street from my pa house, some house has been sitting there forever. You used to throw rocks at it when you was a kid, and now you want to go in and ask them to give you a loan. No, they're not going to do
It's
that. No. In fact, they don't even want to lend to anything less than 100,000 most times. And most
look, and
foreclosure
that's
homes are.
look. That was one of the things I was looking at. I seen that video. There's a YouTube video that says that. Yeah, you're gonna have to get a private mortgage to get you something for like if you can find a house and some land with like 150, 250. Don't ask a bank to give you a loan because they're not giving loans on that little amount anymore. They giving big loans.
Yeah.
Big-
Because that's how they're paid off of the interest. So the
Right.
smaller the loan, the less amount of money they're going to make on it. They want the big loan with the long term because that's how they're going to make the most amount off of the interest charged to that loan. So people come in to try to refinance their loan. They're like, I paid my loan down to like 125. Can I refinance it? Sure. Let me see. Give the rate is like 5%. They're like, why did they give me so high? I'm like, because your loan was like 100,000. They're not gonna make any money off of this, so they're gonna charge you the highest rates for the shortest amount of time, so that they can make the most off of their money. You might as well just keep paying it now. You missed
So
the window,
refi,
unless you
you
want to
don't-
pull cash out. Do you want to pull cash out your home? No. Okay. Well, just pay it off then. Because it don't make sense to get refinance. They're just gonna give you a higher rate. Yeah. You can get a home equity line of credit. I tell people to do that too. Go to your bank and ask for a home equity loan. That's probably going to have a lower rate, and it's probably going to be like a 10-year payment. So that might be something that's more conducive. But no.
So a home line equity credit is way better. Got you.
When you're dealing with those small amounts, yes.
One of the things I find to be hilarious about houses is how people try to pretend that it was so easy.
Oh. I don't know. I don't know who you've been talking to because you talk to some of the people who bought a house. I done had people crying on the phone with me. I done had people crying every week, or just completely stressed out. I've been cussed out before. Buying a home is probably one of the most stressful things you'll do. That whole process. I mean, I think the easiest day is the last day when you actually go to sign the paperwork. That's probably but it's getting better. With technological advances, things are getting a little easy. We're getting more seamless technology, more seamless transitions with paperwork and signatures and stuff like that.
On my end
So,
is on what I'm trying to do, how it works for my type of for individuals that are independent contractors, right? That's what we call, right?
yeah.
Independent. Okay. Is it hard? Look, you got the same thing going on.
Yeah.
That's good weed when to tell your body, hey,
Go get some snacks. Is it hard?
Yeah, is it hard? Oh shit. See, that'd be the issue sometimes. You get high and you be like,
what was I saying?
Look, and your burp made me think about food.
I went to the bathroom, to be honest.
Oh, you need to go to the restroom?
I do.
Not a problem. Look.
We can play a video maybe or something.
That is exactly what we can do. You know what? We're going to go into entertainment in general. Has anybody seen this show right here?
My kids, my dad was no good, so it made me do some messed up stuff back in the day.
Back in the day? Negro, you did some ignorant stuff this morning.
Where you come from? No one said your name 3 times.
Do you think this outfit will get me this chief administrator job? Are you meeting with a man or a woman? Man. Now you get it. Damn, I never thought I'd get me tooed by my own sister.
I'm trying to step my daddy game up.
I will take all the help I can get.
When have I ever let you down?
Look, Benny, it's your baby mama.
I gotta be there for Virginia. You know what? You ain't got to worry about me ever asking for nothing again. You got a phone charge on my phone down to 2%.
Tonight we're gonna go on Facebook and I'm gonna show them the kind of life they could have had if their mama had married Dante. He's a doctor now.
Why don't you take the kids down to the animal shelter and show them the life that you could have had if you hadn't chewed through that cage? I'm rolling with you till the wheels fall off.
Not tonight, baby.
You said that last night. Come on, revved up. I can get it down to tennis.
I'm gonna go twice.
What are you doing sniffing around here? No one called in a bomb. It's you.
Yeah, that was just for me.
It's your boy. My guests will be right back. Had to make a quick restroom break. No worries, right? This is the whole point about the show. It's in a great location to where these things can occur without nobody having to worry about any type of other situations happening. Now, the other thing is I get to share new video with you guys. Have y'all seen the show with the twins, Tia and Tamara and Tia? I can't remember their real names. The twins. But you know, the twins. So they have their own show. Check it out.
Family, I have an announcement. After 15 years of playing pro ball, I've decided to hang up my cleats.
Bring your rusty butt on back here, then.
I am. We're moving back to Columbus.
Answer my prayer. What are you doing? What are you doing?
We think that Columbus is a wonderful place to raise our children.
Remember, church starts at 8 a.m.
We don't go to church. That's about
You better start praying
maybe
before I
shut
forget
it
I know
down.
Jesus.
No lies.
parents.
I wouldn't say awful.
Look at your child.
Your face, isn't it?
Ever since we moved here, you're just trying to tell me how to cook a lot of food and even how to dress.
Proverbs 14:30. Don't hate them. You can't sit down strict with all the rules and the Bible school, but these are the things that prepare you for life.
Let's get started because I love dating.
We talk about how
I've come to realize that path to God is full of ups, downs.
It's refreshing. It reminds me
Girl, you talking about a divine
the late
walk or ride at
90s,
Six
early
Flags.
2000s with UPN. We had Risha and the Parkers and Clueless, even though it was that one white girl and half and one-on-one. I loved all of those shows when I was growing up as a kid, and Living Single and Martin Lawrence. All of those shows were so good. And so this really gave me those feelings again from when I was a kid.
you know why they took them shows off, right?
Oh yeah, to insert white folks. They always use us to build up an audience and build up the network. And then they swap us out and they bring in Sally.
Made it in.
They bring in Sally, Susie, Tommy, and
Look, y'all
Joe.
just seen me do some fake kung fu on the fly. Look, did you see it fly back?
I did. I don't know where I seen it go though.
You know what I mean? Like, can you get out fly?
It reminds me of when.
Um,
Go ahead.
I don't know if flies irritate y'all, but flies irritate me. Like,
I'm glad it's just one. If this was Florida, there'd be about 10.
oh shit, in the crib.
Already. Yeah, already. Be like, be 3, 4, and then you see the other ones coming in. You be like, hurry up, close the door. Close the door. Mosquitoes will be with them too.
Why does everybody want to? Why does everybody want to come in the house? Like, don't nobody want to go outside? Like, y'all ain't got no life outside.
We
the
share
house?
this planet with them. They want to be wherever we at.
They do, don't they? Okay, so the Upshaws. That's what Mike Epps and Wanda.
Okay.
They just got renewed for a second season.
I saw that online on the Shade Room.
Right? Loving Netflix. Then you have, and you're right. It is just like bringing back UPN Network when they had all them black shows.
Mm-hmm.
I had the opportunity when Alfonso Riviera and all of them I had the opportunity of going backstage while they was filming.
Wow.
I did not get to meet not damn one of them.
Dang. You just got to walk the set.
It's behind the scenes, like, it's fucking excellent. Like, they have full spreads of things. And I think that's probably one of the things that, you know what I mean, because it was Hollywood. Like,
Yeah.
they had a table full of liquor.
Yeah, of course. Of
Like,
course.
No. Like, every liquor.
Whatever you want.
Whose brand? Look, whose brand do we not have? Is there a brand we need?
Right? Oh man.
I
want to be that popular that people know what I want when I get there. Like the hotel knows, oh, she likes this for her room.
Wow.
Right? I want to be. That's the type of level of wealth that I'm trying to attain. Right?
Got you. Now, you know, with that type of level of wealth, it takes a lot of. Myself, I know the level of work I'm willing to put in to the level of wealth. Like, I'm still just trying to just maintain just double-digit millions. That's the only thing I want to do. I just want to maintain.
But that's when you start making, like, when you're making that much money. That's when you do that, because now you can pay for that. Like my goal is to make 100,000 a month, right?
Okay.
So that's a, a good little amount, and then I can start
I
staying at
like
those
that.
luxury places.
I
And
that's
you
and
know,
that also, I can understand the characterization of your value at that point. You know what I
yeah,
mean? There are individuals I've seen, there are individuals I know who have been asked the question, what's your worth? And took it emotionally the wrong way.
that's because they didn't know.
Period. And from what I gathered of this story, this individual took like $10,000 worth of cash and said
Oh no,
on them.
I wish I had 10. Right, just a
I'm just saying.
10,000 right now. What I would do.
No, I'm just saying in general though. Like, does
I
that
have to
person
fight
have
off stripping all the time.
does that person have a right to be mad if they were asked their value and they didn't know, and that person just was like
Yeah,
$10,000?
no, they don't. It's just they just got mad because they don't know. Really, that's really what it is. When you don't know or you don't have an answer, and someone calls you on it, most people get the fence off that.
I mean, and see, I think because especially like during the time frame, um, there are individuals that were making it in the game that were doing such things like LeBron was doing. You know what I mean? Paying for their homies to get through school and stuff
That's what's
like
up.
that. That's one of the great things about LeBron, and shout out Dreddy once again. G's make that shit happen. He was the one that reminded me that he's not great for just being about himself. He's great because of the simple fact that he is consistently brought motivated those around him to also be on his level.
Mm. Yeah,
Regardless of the money that he makes, you're still on my level, my nigga. You know what I mean? You went to college, I went to college, my nigga.
this is just some side
You know
business.
what I mean?
Like, it just happens to be
You play
doing
basketball,
well.
my nigga. I play basketball, my nigga. That's all it is. You know what I mean? One of them is his manager, I think.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Think about the things that the level of that type of friendship. When it comes to like just in general entertainment, we don't realize our abilities to entertain, and then what can be built once we know the knowledge of using that to, once again, this
And
nigga
honestly,
need to go.
I think that's what we're seeing with all of these black shows. I think Jamie Foxx, I think Mike Epps and Wanda Sykes. I think that Tia and Tamara. I think each of them know their worth and their value in this industry, and they know what they can bring. And so the fact that Netflix is allowing them to show up as close to what they want as possible, because I'm sure they had to make some concessions somewhere. We haven't heard them come out and say exactly what it was like, but for what we
I
can
do want to
see,
go ahead and
it
into
looked
chat.
great.
Yeah, you're right. Uh, Black AF
Oh,
won't be coming back on Netflix. And they
didn't watch
did
that
say that Netflix asked if they could tone down in certain areas. And once again, they was like, all right, nope, won't have that. And you know him, like he's really he's
yeah.
but CBS has given him the thumbs up.
Oh,
And CBS was also UPN.
yeah.
So
Yeah, back to the major, and they also the one with the eye logo, ain't they? Yeah, it's just a big eye.
we're watching you.
Yeah, exactly. They are. They are all of them, Disney included. Disney's so damn scary. You think about how much they own and how powerful they are, man. They share so much.
I don't. It didn't start out as what it is.
What the show or it or
Disney.
like oh yeah. I mean, I don't know. I feel like it set out to do exactly what it's doing. I feel like Walt Disney was always trying to monopolize on everything he could.
I think he wanted to create the future. I don't think the plan was to monopolize the future. I think he visualized it and wanted to try to bring it to life for everyone else to enjoy. Except for first place you were going to experience what he had offered or was offering was at Disneyland.
Right.
And then Disney World.
I'm ready to go. I haven't been to Disneyland or I've been to Disney World. I know. Reverse that. I've been to Disneyland, which is in California.
Right.
But I've never been to Disney World.
Gotcha.
Even though I lived in Florida for so long.
And I hear that from a lot of Floridians.
It's because it's so damn expensive. Oh my gosh. And even though they give us a discount for being locals, what is that discount? It ain't a discount. And you got to pay for each park.
What do you mean each part?
Most people don't know that Disney World is 3 huge amusement. Actually, it's more like 4 or 5 huge amusement parks. And so you can either buy an all-day pass for all of them, or you can choose the ones you want to go to in that visit. And you can pay for go to these 3 parks or whatever. So, yeah, it's expensive. And that don't even include the food. You just buy your tickets and the food going to be expensive there.
So,
and parking. You're going to pay for parking. Yo, they don't put all the stuff that you got to pay for to go to them amusement parks on the website.
Look, I'm not even knowing. Look, so
found
what
out.
else? What?
I just booked a travel package. That's what I did. The hotel I stayed with, I went to SeaWorld in Orlando, not too far from Disney World. And that whole area is just amusement parks. So everything is far. So you think I'll just park at the amusement park. Then you find out parking's $100. And so then you're like, okay, well, I'll just park up the street from the amusement park. So you do that, but then you realize that, it's like a 20-minute hike because this parking lot is 2 blocks wide. So now you're walking all the way, then you finally get there. By the time you get to the door, you're tired. Just book a package and make sure it includes a shuttle to whatever amusement park you're going to, okay? And my little package came with a food bracelet, so I got to eat everywhere in the park free. Nobody asked me no question. I got my meal and my son's meal.
That's all you did was show the bracelet?
Yes. Just book a package. I'm all about, I should have made sure my hotel had a shuttle. That was my only downfall.
Oh, shit. So if the hotel had a shuttle too,
then I would have been fine. I would have just got on the shuttle and it would have came back at a certain time and I got back on it. I was VIP at the park. I got my little badge, so I got to cut the lines and shit.
Oh, shit.
I got free food, got a free teddy bear, the mug, and a snow globe. I was like, see, this package was all right. I just should have made sure it had a shuttle.
Look. So is it even worth it?
If you do it right, it's worth it. We had a great time. Once we got in, it was great. And it was off season, so it was empty. We were one of 50 people that were in the whole
during
park.
COVID? Look.
No, I ain't go nowhere during COVID. No, I sure did not. I should have though. Everything was so cheap. Should have went. I regret it now. I should have left.
Look, you ain't the only one.
I had residual income. I should have left. I was like, what was I thinking? I could have worked from everywhere. I could have worked from anywhere. I just went back there.
Look.
I don't know what I was thinking.
It was amazing to hear some of the prices that people was getting. Just you had people going out the country talking about, I only paid $1,000 for a round trip ticket. I was like, to go out of the country? Yeah, you're still going out of the country. I'm like, wait a minute. So where are we going though? What countries are allowing us to leave? enter. Motherfuckers was going to Cancun.
Yep.
That's in Mexico.
Tulum.
Look.
Cancun, Tulum. People was going DR.
Oh, I seen some people after at the end start going to like the Bahamas,
Jamaica and
yeah,
stuff.
Puerto
Yeah.
Rico. Yeah.
In Puerto Rico, we could have. Well, people didn't go there because of that damn hurricane. And, you know, Trump didn't give them no aid, so they didn't have no power for like 3-4 months. That's why people weren't going to Puerto Rico until the end.
I mean,
Poor
just
Puerto
in
Rico.
general, like we, our country just is in such.
Greedy. We live in a greedy capitalist patriarchal system.
I, if it was that simple, there would be a whole lot more fixes. I think, unfortunately, we're in the point of the 7 deadly sins motivating within each other more than us motivating living above those things.
Mm.
It's easy to cheerlead somebody being greedy. It's easy
because we all want to obtain greed.
because it's lazy.
People
Think
want
about
to
it.
do that.
It's easy to cheerlead envy.
No, that's called
Gluttony.
haters.
And once again, think about how, as I spoke of, Twitter got more haters than Facebook.
They
Like,
sure do. People just on there being mean just to be being mean.
yeah, Twitter. Not that there are people that actually make an honest statement on Twitter and go, okay, let's have an honest conversation about this. No, you have, once they get mad at your statement, they're like,
Trying to tear you down.
oh yeah, and they don't realize they're the ones with the trauma. Like, especially like with me, like when I post it on Twitter, I'll be like, you can't break me down. Like, I'm a nigga from the hood. What can you say? Like,
Right. That's why I'm not afraid of, you know, working hard or whatever. Because once you poor, like, or you've been homeless, you know how much you can live on.
you know what I mean?
And be comfortable and be good. And so I don't never
Y'all niggas
worry
don't
about, you know, going broke because I know what that's like and I know how to get back to the money. People need to understand that money is like a river. It's always flowing. It comes, it goes. You just
The bartering system, as long as you know how to work it, will work for you.
it comes,
as long
it goes.
as you know how to work it. That's all it is. It is. There are so many things that I've made happen with the bartering system alone that didn't even involve cash, just a barter. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And that is one of the most amazingest things to me when it comes to like just like I said, entertainment in general is a big barter. People pretending to give the world something imaginable to believe in. It's great. Especially for those that understand that it's entertainment.
Yeah.
Not that it's reality. There are things we have to separate reality from entertainment. But to be that creative, especially like when it comes to anime, what are some of the animes that you like?
Well, you know, I recently came to the conclusion that Hunter x Hunter is probably my favorite anime because it's the one I watch the most often.
Are they back
Really, I heard that new episodes are coming out
on Netflix?
Yes, I don't know how accurate this is because Netflix is really good about updating when they have new stuff coming, and it don't say nothing. So I'm not sure. And I've watched like everything on Japanese websites too, so there's chances that I probably already saw it. So I'm hoping that that's not the case because I would love to see what Golden Killua are up to. I'm telling you, I'm gonna get 2 dogs, and they're gonna be Golden Killua. 2 of them right there. Or I might just name one Killua and the other one Madara because that's my favorite villain. But I don't know.
Your favorite villain?
Yeah, from Naruto. Madara Uchiha. That man is a one-man army. He's unbelievable.
Who is he?
He is the great grandfather of Sasuke Uchiha, or grand uncle,
Sasuke.
or grand uncle or something.
Yeah. Oh yeah. What's his name? The dude with the blue suit.
No, long black hair and red. He was in the final Shinobi War. They reanimated him.
Yeah.
And he came back.
He was
can
the one with the
summon-
hair?
Yeah, he has really long hair.
Yeah.
When he comes back. Ooh, I'm about to
Look.
Okay, I'm good.
Because you know that's my show.
Yeah, Naruto.
Yeah, I had to watch that. I had to watch that whole season in Mandarin.
Me too. Did you have subtitles?
Yeah.
Me too.
But just
Excuse me.
bless you. Just watching that whole season in that format taught me a whole new respect for them as Imagineers of their history and culture.
Mm.
Like, did you know the Nine-Tailed Fox Demon was real? Or the history of it was based off of?
Yeah.
I think that's a creative way to tell people about your culture.
Yeah, that's the same with Inuyasha, one of my other favorites. It's a classic, baby. Inuyasha, that story. For one, it's a female-written anime, one of the most popular female-written
I did not
anime.
know Inuyasha was written by a female.
Yes, it is a woman who wrote the story, and she incorporates Japanese history and Japanese cultures into the storytelling of the demons that are in Inuyasha. So I really appreciated that as well.
I love Inuyasha. Like, his attitude is so a boy.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not that it's a man or it's a grown man or a mature. He is such a boy.
Yeah.
And
He
it is hilarious to watch a boy act out TV in real life. I don't love man. What are you talking about?
Kagome.
Yeah. Kagome, where are you? What are you doing in your world? Why are you over in your world? When are you coming back in my world?
Kikyo was that girl. I felt so bad for her.
Kikyo.
It was his lover who was murdered.
That was the craziest story, like, in general. And then for her to come back.
Yes, and then realize that actually he wasn't the one who killed her, and that somebody just intervened and stole their love away from them. I'm like, oh my God, that she just kind of wanted the world off.
And we have to
leave
watch
Kikyo
this.
alone, okay?
And we have to watch this. Like, yeah, this is the greatest.
It was good, but you know,
not that it wasn't the greatest, but it's so dramatic. That's one of the things that I love about anime is that it teaches people like life. You know what I mean? Like, in general, like when the friends step up, like when you start ragging on yourself and they show how friends step up and say, "What are you talking about?" and punch them in the mouth. You know what I mean? I love that type of expression of reality because that I can grasp that. You know what I mean? What are some of the emotional traits that you've learned to pay attention to in characters?
In characters, like in anime?
Yeah.
I don't know what you mean by that. Like,
all the guys that are heroes have a problem with sex.
oh, okay.
Like, their whole world, if a girl's naked, their whole world will go in disarray. You ever notice that? Like,
Yeah. That's just Japanese culture, I think.
Like,
Naruto
sexy
saved the
jutsu.
world. Yeah, Naruto saved the world with the sexy jutsu, baby. He saved the world. Kakashi was about to be on the floor. He was like, "Oh my god, the sexy jutsu saves the world." Yes, baby. You got better put Naruto just tapped into men's vulnerability for women, and he learned how to exploit it.
He tapped into his. He was like, "Is this what you'll do for anything?" And it was like, oh.
And then he flipped it on her with the men. And she was just surprised. I don't think she knew what she was like, all these naked men, like, she just looked at him.
Sexy jutsu. That is
save the world. Yes, it did.
That is the most hilarious jutsu ever in my life to know. I don't know anybody that watched Naruto that doesn't know that statement.
Or just doesn't even call Jiraiya the pervy sage. Because
I don't call him Master Jiraiya. I call him pervy sage. Yeah, like
pervy sage.
We know
there
why.
He is.
It's just like in Dragon Ball. One of the most emotional characters you know of is Vegeta.
Yeah.
Like, in general.
I love Vegeta.
Vegeta is such a boy.
I love him. He is, I mean, especially if you haven't watched Dragon Ball Super, then don't talk.
But
if you watch Dragon Ball Super,
I'm not even gonna lie.
Watch it. Because he just elevates, like, his whole character just took it to the next level. He really became, for me, Vegeta became King Vegeta in this Dragon Ball Super, because he is the Prince of all Saiyans. And so now I feel like he's the king of all Saiyans. If you watch this season of Dragon Ball Super or just watch it in general, you know what I'm saying. Because he was the only one who was teaching Goku about what it means to be a Saiyan, his pride in his Saiyan race. And he's the only one who takes,
teaching him to be a nigga.
Yeah, teaching any other, because they, this is a spoiler, but they meet some other Saiyans, and he takes them under his wing, and he teaches them how to tap into their Saiyan power and teaches them about their history. He is really living out his race and really trying to keep them alive on his own. So it's like, yo, this man is really holding it down for the Saiyans, like really holding it down in a world where nobody else knows who they are because they've been wiped off the planet, and he is holding it down. Vegeta is the king of all Saiyans. He really is. And the king isn't the most strongest fighter. That's what people need to accept. That a king is not always the most strongest fighter on the field. He just knows how to use his soldiers to the best of their abilities, which is what Vegeta does. He knows when to step back and let Goku handle things.
Because that's Goku's thing as a guy. Like I said, remember, it's not about going out there and beating somebody's ass because you're mad at it.
Right.
It's in general. You've pushed me to this point. You believe that your information is that. I believe my information is that. Period, point blank.
Right.
Now we got to test it. How are we going to test it?
Yeah. Call me when you are fully powered up after you've had a good night's sleep and a full meal, and when I want you to be in your best health.
Yes.
If you have a cold, don't come. Take care of your cold. Come back. Because I really want to see how far I can push myself. Damn, in the word of Goku.
And you either gonna see it my way or I'm gonna see it your way.
I really just want to see. You're super strong. Wow. Like, I really want to see it.
You know what I mean?
Can we want to spar for a bit? Let's spar.
Or I'm gonna see it my way. And normally just see it my way.
This man swung on the destroyer god. Goku. Dragon Ball Super though, it's on Adult Swim, which means it's probably on HBO Max. So I would definitely. It is worth the watch.
But see, I have to go back into.
Oh.
Let's see.
Because it's all there. Dragon Ball Kai, you want to watch it? It's there.
His son was out there running around as what you call it.
You talking about Trunks?
Goku's son was still running around as
Saiyaman.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was.
That's the last time I watched.
Yeah, that's right. That's Dragon Ball Z Kai.
And I can't remember who came into it wasn't Boo.
It was Boo.
It was Boo.
It was Boo and
yeah, that was the last
and
time.
Bobbity.
Yeah, that was the last
Yes.
time I watched was Boo and Bobbity.
Look, they totally knocked. Tell that's our English ass translation. Bobbity Boo. They just ripping off Mary Poppins.
Right?
Surprised Disney ain't
No,
sued.
that's how I see motherfuckers that speak in tongues in church. Like when y'all
That
when
is
they,
such an African. Let me tell you, that is an African spiritual thing. You know, dancing around fire and speaking in tongues, and we totally done put. You know,
yeah, that's why I'd be
that's
like,
some deep
it'd be a whole different
African.
story. It'd be a whole different story if it was God trying to communicate with us speaking in tongues. But
Probably our ancestors, more
that's
likely.
see that I totally understand.
That is probably
Have
we're
you
speaking
seen-
our ancestral tongue, and we just
Have
don't know
you
it.
seen Infinite
No, I don't. I don't think so.
on Paramount Network? Come on, feel the vibration. It's such a
Are you
good
talking about Marky Mike?
vibration. Yeah, he what's his brother?
I don't know. I know him, but he
The
played in
actor.
and he was not the one that was in the boys group.
Yeah, no. Oh, so it is Marky Mark.
Yeah, Marky Mark acts. And
Yeah,
he
now
did that
yeah, because
song.
he's an actor now.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, his ass. So he was Mr. Feel the Vibration. Oh my God. It's such a good vibration.
Looking good that whole video too.
It's such a sweet
And them
sensation.
just wearing black swag in the video.
It's such a good
Briefs showing and
vibration.
boxers and stuff.
It's such a sweet. Do you? Oh my God.
That just reminded me of how they did that black woman who's singing that song, because she sung in all them songs back in the day and nobody paid her and nobody put her name in the song, which is why today I don't know her name.
Period. That is the truth.
And I had to go and
this
look
day.
it up.
We got to. That is something I'm gonna have to do myself. That is so crazy. That
She's
you can
singing
just
all
go-
them songs. You can
Yeah,
hear her voice.
is
And
it-
it's like
is it
all
season-
over the
is it-
80s and early 90s.
Is it the one that was from like BNB CNC Factory or something?
Yes, and
did
she was
that
she sang Raining Men or something.
It's raining.
Yeah, she was one of the
Oh
ladies
my
in that
gosh.
song. That's why they didn't ever show her, because she didn't fit the
Because she was-
small, skinny, but they wanted to use the vocal powers of her.
Once again, I mean, it's just like how we was talking about white people love to say, I have that black friend. But you got that black friend
Their
that
black
don't
friend.
have black friends that they
But
grew
does
up
your
with,
black friend have
or
black
that
friends?
they not the black friend from the hood. Once again, don't be thinking just because you have Uncle Ruckus or you got Samuel Jackson from the Django as your friend, and that's out there supporting your lifestyle and all of that stuff. Yeah,
And don't call
think
you
that the
out when you
hood-
say the N-word.
Don't think that the hood gives them motherfucking kudos or gives them motherfucking props. We see them as sellouts, and that's what they just get mad about.
Mm-hmm.
They're always going to be sellouts to the hood. The hood will never ride or die for niggas like them. Just remember that.
And they hate us for it. And you know
And
what?
they will-
There's an African proverb. It says that the child that's shunned by the village will come back and burn the village down. And a lot of times,
that's exactly who set the
that's what
fire in the hood.
happens. That's a lot of times that's what's happening.
So many house niggas that these white folks is paying attention to, especially in Hollywood. No,
Oh,
there's a
God.
nigga at Netflix. I'm not gonna say his name, but supposedly came out the closet within the last 10 years, and then want to tell Netflix that he's just coming out of the closet and all of these open places and stuff, that he's just not coming out of the closet. Nigga, in middle school, we used to crack jokes about your forehead and how feminine you used to act, and his cousin used to want to beat everybody up and threaten us with her Crip boyfriend while she was pregnant in freshman high school year. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand some of these people.
Just not owning, it's not owning up to it, because there's so many people like I can think of back in high school. It was like we all knew, but they just refused to accept it. They weren't ready to accept it themselves, basically. And so
This nigga's
you can't force
forehead-
nobody to be ready, you know.
This nigga's forehead and his motherfucking his forehead and his feminine ways, and then he would stutter when he was trying to get smart with you like a girl would.
Mm.
That was one of those things that once again you want to. Ain't nobody even talking about you. Ain't nobody even saying nothing about you. But you get into a conversation about a guy and a girl on television with another guy and a girl. You just want to jump in the conversation. And so somebody tell you not to be in the conversation, you're going to get all attitude. That's it. Ain't nobody talking to you, and then you're going to get all attitude. And then when he says something back to you about your little smart mouth, right? That's how it happened. I'm giving an analogy.
Yeah.
And then he says something, guy says something to him. Oh my God, that thing just like flew back in here. Like, you know what? I'm chilling over here. Right. But yeah,
What's one of your favorite animes right now? Or is it just Naruto in general?
my favorite anime, we got to it. It's Bleach.
Oh yeah, Bleach. I remember. Bleach is a good one. I have to go back and finish it. I was just skipping all their filler seasons.
Yeah, Bleach is my
I
shit.
did the same thing with Naruto too. I skipped the filler parts. I was like, oh, y'all ain't finna have my heart on edge and then make me watch the
That's
Shinobi.
one of the things that...
make me watch this thing, the Junine exams. I'm not about to watch the Junine exams. I really don't care that Sakura passed the Junine exams on the second try.
That
okay,
movie that you had me watching on fucking what you call it? What's that movie on Netflix?
It was a movie?
The TV show.
Oh, you're talking about The Kingdom or Kingdom.
Yeah.
I think it's just Kingdom.
You had me. I thought I knew everything. You know what I mean? Like when it came to anime and watching great Japanese history and all of that stuff. Come to find out, I don't. Because this thing right here. Hopefully it plays. It's supposed to play. Yeah. So that is supposed to be a preview from what you call it. Our favorite show with The Walking Dead. What's it called? Kingdom.
Kingdom. Yes. If you haven't checked out Kingdom, definitely check it out. It is another one of these female written and director. So it's rare for it to be a female director, and she's actually Chinese.
What?
Yes.
See, once again,
and she
this
did
is all new
her
information, y'all.
thing.
Y'all getting all this good information straight from here. Look, how did you find out she was a woman?
They actually do the little behind the scenes, you know. And I'm a person, like, when I like something, I obsess over it. So as soon as I finish watching it, I'm right on YouTube looking up all the behind the scenes and theories and, you know, ideas for future episodes. Like, I go down a rabbit hole on the show. So I did the same thing with The Kingdom, of course. And that's when I found out that it was actually directed by a Chinese woman, and it was really important for her to incorporate their culture with the clothing.
Chinese or Japanese?
It's Chinese.
Okay.
This is a Chinese movie. I'm sorry, it's Korean because she's Korean, and this is takes place in Korea. So And she said she wanted to make sure she captured the beauty of Korea so that people could see it, and made sure she really talked about the history through the clothing. So everything is pretty close to accurate as far as what it would have been like back in those times with their outfits and where they were living in the environment. It was really well
I'm
done.
gonna tell you now, they look cold as shit.
Yes, they do.
They look like they was filming like they look like they was filming when it was freezing. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, I totally grasp that whole little when they're saying it's too cold. It's too cold. Like, yeah, it looks cold.
It looks
Like, I
cold.
see y'all's breath every time y'all breathe. Like, the director paid attention to detail. This is what women directors are great about. This is why I can't stand when people go in on Wonder Woman. The new Wonder Woman, 1984. I need y'all to
I haven't
understand.
watched it. I'm gonna watch it. It's on HBO Max.
It is. And I want y'all to understand, this is not a woman who was raised by psychopath people to not cherish herself or her values and put only the mission ahead of everything. This is a woman raised by women to be a woman. And now she is out in the world being a woman, and people want her to just be so fucking mean. Like, I don't know what they want her to be, but
They
the
want her to
idea
be
of her-
extra
Got it out.
masculine. This is what it is. There's this constant effort to snuff
I
out
got the fly out, y'all.
feminine energy. You did. It is this constant effort to snuff out feminine energy. And I think about it a lot with like corporate America, because corporations in their work culture is super masculine. It's just overbearingly masculine. And when women complain about it, the answer is like, oh, well, just, go back to being in the kitchen, or just go back to cleaning. But it's never like, let's make it an environment that's conducive for both women and men. For too long, men have ran corporate America and pushed this narrative that work and the mission and success is more important than family, is more important than self-care, is more important than, relaxation. And that's run rampant in corporate America for a very long time. And I think with COVID, this is the first time where people are actually stepping back and saying, you know what? I don't want to be.
I don't want to go back to that job no
at this
more.
job. I don't want to be at the office all the
Right.
time. I'd
A
much
lot of
rather work
people-
from home.
And a lot of people don't realize that their company was a shitty company within it.
Yeah, that the culture of the company was what was keeping them down,
yeah.
and making them feel so depressed,
Making
and
them unhealthy.
yes,
Like, you have companies that are built to destroy people. That's it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
to
I
break
said,
you, really.
I don't believe customer service is built the way that it should be. Somebody made an analogy when it came to customer service, and people was like, yeah, I like that because I'm a customer. Like,
I think customer service has been masquerading around as white supremacy for a long time.
the customer
Because
is not always right.
Because we were always the service people.
Ding.
So, and white folks was always the customer. So if they got spicy or talked to us any kind of way, they were right, we were wrong, we had to shade up and take it. Now the industry has diversified. So it's not just us in the service industry. Now it's everybody is in the service industry. And it's still the same. It's still that same culture of the customer can talk to you any kind of way and you got to accept it. And that's one of those things that's left over from slavery. Same way tips is something that's left over from back in them slave times when they didn't want to pay black people for working. So blacks had to rely on the tips that they got. That's something that's left over from back then. And so is the current model of customer service.
And that's the thing. Like, in general, the customer always being right. That is such bullshit. There's no such thing as a customer who is always right. There is a customer who is frustrated about a situation that our company may or may not have caused.
Mm-hmm.
I apologize. Let's see how we can work this out. That's how you move on with that one. But the ability for them to go, I can now play coward on the phone and hang up on people.
That's Comcast.
I can now play coward on the phone. If you cuss at me, if you cuss in conversation like adults do, if you cuss in conversation, I can now hang up on you.
Click.
Like, what kind of
I
childish
fully
shit is
support
that?
that. I fully support that. I'm here for it. I mean, I'm really well about handling myself, so I'm very tempered. So you can yell and scream at me, but nothing you do is gonna get me outside my character. However, people are not me. Other people, you cuss at them, or you cuss during your conversation, and they're gonna take that as a direct, like, I had an ex-boyfriend once say, like, do whatever the fuck you want to do, and I was livid. I was like, don't you dare cuss at me. It's like, well, I didn't cuss at you. I was like, well, you cussed in the sentence while talking to me. Don't do it. Don't do it.
That is something that every woman have.
So yeah, I'm gonna hang up on your ass, click, or I'm gonna tell
general-
you you're gonna have to be back on hold until someone else can help you. Then
in general, like I don't know why black women take that offensive specifically towards them when a guy cusses in conversation. Like when a guy cusses in conversation around black women, you can see this thing like, hopefully he's not cussing at me, because if he's cussing at me and this nigga about to get into it, because that's what you can see this flashing through black women's eyes.
It just depends on the context. Like if we having a conversation about something, you go, "Oh, I'm gonna fuck that nigga up," whatever. But if we talking and you like, man, what the fuck ever? Now you cussing at me.
No, and that's not. And that's not a guy cussing.
Don't be using cuss words in any sentence that is directed towards me, because that brings energy. Cuss words carry energy. And so you can't insert it in a sentence with me and not expect the industry. Yeah.
No, that's just dumb man.
And that's also because you haven't been around a lady who
No.
Don't do that.
We just don't have, once again, when it comes to cussing, we don't have a specific direction where cussing goes out to. We don't go, yeah, this cuss word's for you, and this cuss word's for you.
The whole sentence is for me. So it's not like you can pick which direction each word in the sentence goes. The whole sentence is directed towards me.
When we cuss somebody out, though, we know who we're cussing out.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
So I make it clear. But best believe when I say it, they don't do it again. They're like, well, now I know that I can't cuss I can't talk to you like that, so I won't do it no more. Yeah, you won't do it no more. So
is that like,
because I don't care how mad I get, I won't ever do that. I don't ever do that.
Ever.
Like you really have to. I don't know. Like I have to maybe walk in on you cheating. I said I won't. Didn't say I haven't, but I won't ever do that. When I was much younger and I didn't have therapy and I didn't learn the tools necessary to deal with my triggers when they were happening and how to like make sure I talk with love always present in my communication.
That is a deep statement. Triggers.
Used to.
Do you know how many people know what their triggers are though? Like a lot of people don't know what their triggers are.
No, it's something that you have to discover through like therapy and stuff, like through self-work. That's the only way you figure out your triggers. Otherwise, you just go around life reacting all the time and you feel emotionally and physically drained and you don't know why, but it's because you just live a life of reaction. Like every time somebody says something, you react to it.
That's a lot of the times that's what like I said, a lot of people don't grasp that this me is not the me that they know. You know what I mean? They know the angry nigga. So a lot of people be worried, like, is this nigga gonna get angry? Is this nigga gonna... I've always been bothered when we're in positions of businesses as males, and yet we get so arrogant that we believe we're smarter than everyone in the room.
The ego,
guys aren't smart.
Ego just runs rampant.
Guys aren't smart. Guys know book knowledge, if anything. Once you're not applying said book knowledge to said everything about you is bullshit. You're dumb. You know what I mean? That's all it is. You're dumb. Okay, you work as a scientist. Book smart. But that woman created that vaccine that you're putting in everybody, even though you're the scientist that put together.
You just took pieces of ingredients that were given to you, really.
And like I said, all guys are dumb. But yet, people want to cheerlead like, yeah, there's a smart one out there with an educated answer that can answer all of our questions. Tucker Carlson is proof of how dumb we are.
Tucker Carlson's show, I'll Have You Know, was just labeled as entertainment, as was Rachel Maddow on MSNBC. So you guys know that is not news.
Correct.
That is entertainment.
Because people are dumb, and guys, baseline is dumb. You prove it to me if you don't like this statement that guys' baseline isn't dumb. I'm going to give you my factual reason for this. One thing, right? No woman in history has ever broken up with a guy because he was smarter than her. You prove that to me, and I will totally agree. You can't even find that in the Bible. You can't find that in the devil Bible. You can't find that in a witch's Bible. You can't find that in anybody's Bible. Hindu, Muslim, Ethiopian, I don't care who. You show me that proof that a man is smarter than a woman. Like, we can take tests all day, every day, and I guarantee you, 10 out of 10 men and 10 out of 10 women are not going to be scoring the same.
This is true. These tests are not even really. They're just really testing your ability to take a test. They're not even really testing your ability to know the information or your execution of the information. It's just your ability to take a test.
That's it.
So tests. I don't even know why we have it. Tests. I was going to say I don't even know why we have tests, but I do know why. It's how we, exclude people and how we justify not giving schools funding or closing certain schools over other schools. It's because other schools, these private schools, these other schools that got money, they hire people to come in and teach students how to take tests, or they are taking their kids to after school programs, like test taking after school programs for these kids to learn how to take tests. Tests are not really teaching you information or testing your knowledge. It's really just showing your ability to take a test. And because Black students don't get that coaching around taking tests, we don't do as well. But if we had the same access,
I totally agree
would.
with that. There is a video with young Jeezy, talking to a Black therapist. I don't know if he's a psychiatrist or a psychologist. I'm not gonna.
Right.
But he's speaking to a therapist. I know he is a therapist in some form, such way. And the guy is sitting there saying how they put us, individuals like myself, was put into things such as I was put into a class called emotionally disturbed.
Oh, really?
Yeah, which was the same people as the special ed and everybody else. So I'm sitting there with a group of people that can't read the word can. And I can read the word can.
Right.
Every word that they putting up, I can sit there and read. And I'm sitting there having to do it at a high school level. That fucks somebody's heads up.
Yeah. I mean, it's sad too because it happens. It's a story all across the country because the same stuff happened to me. I was put in special ed when I was in like the 5th grade, and when I got in there, they were still doing like single multiplication, and I was already on long division, I was already working my way into algebra, and I'm like, so I would go in there, they would hand them a sheet of 100 single multiplications problems, and I would blow through that in like 10 minutes and then go play on the computer for the rest of the day. And if it wasn't for one female teacher who was like, why are you here? And then when she inquired and found out it was because of standardized testing scores, which she could clearly see was BS because she sees like, oh, you're really smart. So she took it upon herself to start teaching me my course education in her own time in the classroom. While the students were working on their single multiplications, she would have a workbook for me where she would work with me on my division and algebra so she can make sure that I wouldn't get behind. And by the time I was in like the 7th grade, really they keep you in those classes because you're extra money. Like it's not even about your
I know
education.
that.
It's about
Dr.
the
Umar.
fact that it's money involved. I knew this because my class, which that I was in, the special education class, we were the kids who got all the brand new math books. You remember when Matt came out with those really cool
Yeah.
flat screen ones? They was following you around in the commercial. Our class had all of them because, and we were the only class with them because we were the class that had the money.
Wow.
We were all the special ed kids. And so it wasn't until I moved to Louisiana when I was in my 7th grade year of middle school. I moved to Louisiana and I got out there and, it's country, it's rural. So the school system is even more decrepit. So I got in there and was light years beyond all the other kids. And they were like, okay, we're going to put you in normal rotation. Okay, we're going to put you in advanced rotation. And so from there on, I was just never in special ed again. Because they just like, you don't need to be in here. They snatched me out of that class so quickly and put me back in the advanced rotation.
In Colorado, they will put you in speech class if you say things like, a lot of my family is from the South. So aura is something I knew. I didn't know about. I knew about comb your hair. I didn't know about.
I mean, everything we say is we have a Southern draw. So
in general, it was just like that was there. So they put people in speech class because they said that here in Colorado.
Yeah, I can imagine.
This is why, as when we go to other places, people go, "Oh, you talk real proper, don't you?" That's because they told us
to talk real proper
to get rid of that.
Yep.
And they once again slave mastering us while we're in school. Mm-hmm. This whole diction in general, regardless that I'm speaking this way to you, right? I can get real nigga with you. And y'all wouldn't understand me being all niggish. However, that's what I do talk on a day-to-day basis.
Right. We have our own language and people refuse to acknowledge it because people refuse to acknowledge that Black Americans actually have our own culture. They want to keep saying that we don't exist because they want to keep using it. Everything we do, they want to use it and make money off of it. So we can't have a culture because then we can control what's ours.
Right. Because little white kids ain't running around saying nigger until they get mad, and that's what their parents taught them. Mm-hmm. They're running around saying nigga. Because they know that A on the end is representation of us.
Yes. Black Americans. That's why they say it. Same thing with all the other words we use. Wasn't nobody going around calling people ratchet until we started doing it. Wasn't nobody saying Tatiana or Thotty or none of that. We create the word. We create our own words, and then everybody starts to use it.
White people wasn't even calling their friends Karens until, and now all these Karens are getting their names changed.
And ain't no babies being named Karen no more. They just said Karen that dropped off the face of the planet. Don't nobody want a baby named Karen no more. I'm like, yo, we do cooler shit with their language than they do. You know what I mean? Like we use English way cooler than y'all.
We're so influential, and this is, I learned from a rabbi that that's what they said. The niggas that they took from Africa, those were the most influential niggas, and those was also the niggas that was gonna fight back.
Yeah.
So you had to take them niggas if you wanted to make anything happen here.
Yeah.
And now hip hop is the #1 music of the world.
And it's giving our whole continent an opportunity to be seen as Afrobeats is starting to make its way into mainstream, and
think about how we're taking. Think about how we are taking care of Africa now. Mm-hmm. We as a Black people are now paying attention to the country that birthed our history. Mm-hmm. Now, all those countries that are going there to take the resources might want to think about that. Because if we go home, who do you think's gonna fight you? I'm just saying.
I'm trying to bring some of that little attitude right over there because they too comfortable for me. A lot of them too comfortable with what be happening in their own country.
Until
we illuminate them on what it really is.
Until we are cured. Until we look. I'm not even going. To me, the Mexican community is one of the strongest groups of people
Mm.
because of the simple fact of one, they're not all arrogant, and oh, that's another fly. Look, that's two flies in it. I let one in and let one out. Yeah, they're not all mucho arrogant. You know what I mean? And they're not all, I want to be a jefe. Like, people are happy getting up and going to work every day. You know what I mean? And then being able to come home and eat a good meal and take care of their family. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, some of those born in this may be used to more because they're born into this.
Mm-hmm.
But just in general, the way that the mothers teach the daughters ways of the kitchen. Not that it's demanded, it's just they teach it.
Right.
Come in here, mija. That shit is so beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And in general, the males love being providers.
Right.
They don't, it's not, oh, I'm going to need some help, or, oh, we're going to do this together.
And that's why a lot of other races of men look down on black men, and they don't really acknowledge it. But I had an Asian man once, an old Asian man. He was really old. And one of the things he said to me, I was with my boyfriend at the time. My boyfriend actually worked for him on like some construction thing. And he told him, like, you know, I'm good to see you with your own. He was like, you know why? He was like, you know why no one respects you guys? Because you don't take care of your own women. Mm-hmm. Like, marry your own women. And he was like, well, you see, I'm with, you know, I'm with my blah, 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 blah. But, you know, in general, me dating, because I'm a black woman, I date interracially. I date whatever shows interest in me. And so I've dated Asian, black, white, Mexican. I've dated a lot of them. And all of them say the same thing. They all say the same thing. They don't take care of their women. They don't want to work. They say that they're lazy. And
well, just in general, being a man is a hard job, and guys have been allowed to be lazy, and that's something that, once again, as long as there is someone allowing us as males to be lazy mentally, physically, spiritually, or emotionally, then we're not going to do the hard work. On that note, I do apologize.
Yeah.
On that note, the show is over. We have had a great conversation today. I appreciate Miss Talisa Hawkins, Queen, being on the show with me. I appreciate anybody who is watching and joined in. You know, it's your boy. Once again, conversation rules the nation. Action speaks louder than words. Holla at your boy.
Hey, we back up in this bitch, man. It's badass, man. Yeah. They let a nigga do the intro, and they let the wrong nigga do the intro, because shit, I'm eating her. But I like the spit, but when the nigga start talking, the nigga just talk too much. So in this intro, I get to talk and just keep telling you motherfuckers that it's time to be heard, because you be listening to some straight bullshit. No disrespect, because it takes time to make the music. It takes time to make the money. I guess that's why nobody make the money, because niggas ain't taking time to make no music. Of course, we do Ethan Hunt.
In the door, waving the 4-4. Nigga, all I heard was Ethan, don't spit it no more. I'm a god amongst boys, yeah. Clash of the Titans, the party been started, but I wasn't invited. Now I'm declaring war, cause my mind's spinning like this. They keep on telling me that bad boys moving silent, so why can't I hear them? Guess I got a sixth sense, cause I keep hearing dead niggas talking in this bitch. 16 bars, now it's 16 years. I'm rapping to these people, but they don't wanna hear. Swear they want the power, but they don't wanna steer. But stay up out the kitchen, cause it's hot up in here. Cause I spit first and ask questions later. I'ma address the haters, cause their numbers are greater. Matter of fact, them is the one that keep me on your radar. Lying dark side, you can call me Darth Vader. I mean, which one of you niggas out there fucking with BAE? BAE.
us in, niggas. Let's go. Kick in the door, right in the fofo. All I heard was stories, don't spit it no more. Fucking this track like a pimp on a hoe. I'ma give it to a roll, better not let me go. Mile representing Colorado snow. BAE hot, the flow so cold. This is our years, known to fuck with our peers. Badass years, down size steers. Crazy motherfucker, get it in like a psycho. Known to get paid like I'm fucking with a white hoe. Punch to the face and we action on your flow. Let somebody say something badass at the back door. BAE here, now the party started. And the boys I run with, know to get retarded. You taking over, so the crown you better guard it. Might as well be down, we taking it regardless.
Kicked in the door, waving the 4-4. All I heard was LP, don't spit it no more. Well, somebody was lying to you, somebody was bullshitting. Let me find out who said it, guaranteed I go and get them. Better watch your fucking mouth, you know what this shit about. Think twice before you talk, BAE don't fuck around. LP, Lil Put the stories and Ethan Hunt. Fo show, give us what the fuck we want. If you don't cooperate, while we trying to operate. Fo in your ass, major pain is what you take. Listen up and pay attention, Big Clary on a mission. Can't stand the fucking heat and get the hell up out the kitchen. You know what I'm here for, I heard that you had that. Bitch, stop playing with me, where my fucking droid at? Somebody was lying to you, somebody was bullshit. Let me find out who said it, guaranteed I go and get them.